What's up, beautiful people? My name is Segun Delu, also known and better known as Delusion. I am bisexual. I am a professional commercial dancer. I'm also in the street scene as well. I do hip-hop, freestyle, and a bit of popping. Within my journey, I came to understanding about my sexuality, and being honest about it, about a year before I started trying to learn how to dance. So a little bit of backstories. I grew up in a very conservative Christian upbringing when it comes to my schooling. I went to a Christian church that was also a school at the same time, so it was very privatized. I was there from 3rd grade to 8th grade, during my super adolescence, and then from my freshman year of high school, actually throughout high school, I was also in the conservative Christian schooling, and then my freshman year of college, I was also in that conservative Christian schooling. So for me, that was trying to figure out how I navigated, liking both men and women and really all spectrum of the gender identity. On top of that, I've always been kind of interested in dance, but I never had the means to really get into it, as well as there wasn't really opportunity because it's very staunch, very boring type of right-wing conservatism. So when it came to the arts, we really didn't have anything outside of piano, choir. That was really about it. And anything in terms of liberal arts, you had to kind of dumb it down to appease their ideology of what is acceptable and appropriate in all terms of expression, regardless of how you stand on something. So for me, I didn't start dancing until I started seeing people on the internet, especially Matt Stefanina was a really big inspiration for me because he had the free tutorials. So I would be doing that a bunch of times over, just literally going online, trying to learn as much as I could. I didn't step into the first dance studio until I was, 19, and that was a freestyle breakdancing studio. And then I didn't do my first drop-in class till I was 20, summer of 2017. So for me, it's always kind of been happening around the same time of me, figuring out myself, and then kind of dancing happening in the same, just the whole time. Now, almost 8 years later, I'm very much, found myself very, strong in how I believe in everything that I do, and I just kind of feel that, I don't know, man, it's just been a kind of a long journey, but a good journey at the same time. It's mostly just people assuming a lot of things onto you as a dancer. There's already a stigma about men just being queer as a whole if they dance. But then on the flip side, and this can go into many aspects such as how you present yourself naturally, as well as race, your body type, all this type of stuff. I've been kind of shoehorned into be more mask. Some of my mentors or teachers that I've had in the past have kind of been go more this route because we know that it's going to get you opportunities, X, Y, and Z. And for me, that's perfectly fine because it sounds so corny, but I don't necessarily, I see myself as just a guy. I don't care about the whole you're femme this, you're mask that. I think the whole idea is just dumb. There comes this thing where okay, guys to the floor. The guys that are most likely going to get picked, or the guys that are seen to do the best, quote unquote, when it comes to auditions or certain things that happen in getting booked a music video or whatever, usually tend to have more of that masculine quality or whatever. I feel like I've been shoehorned into one box because of something, and then also at the same time disrespected and denigrated in the other aspect, because it's I'm saying straight up I like women, I like men, and then it's just oh, you're just a masculine gay, and I'm just what? I'm 26 now. You know what I'm saying? I think by now I wouldn't be needing to lie about something like that. I feel like people that know me or people that have met me can clearly tell I'm very honest and truthful about how I feel about anything. So it's been a very interesting journey navigating how I'm going to act when I'm in a class, how I'm perceived, if I'm going to use that to my advantage or disadvantage, and then also how much I care in a moment to correct somebody when they try to put me in a specific box. Being a bi dancer and how it forms my artistic decisions. Kind of going back to audition processes or even being in class. At times I might you know, for kicks and giggles, and I honestly just do it because I think it's funny. Like I might throw something a little bit feminine in the choreography, or I might, you know, just make a choice that you're like, oh, didn't expect that to happen. But then in the same aspect, I also, since I do enjoy dancing more masculine as a whole, I'm usually gearing myself towards that side in tandem because it's something that I actually enjoy doing, but also because I know that's how, you know, and this also influences it, how certain choreographers or maybe what's asked for me to be as a male dancer. It's funny because I've tried to figure out how to balance the two. Let's say it's partner work, you know what I'm saying? So grab a partner. I'll work with anybody, you know what I'm saying? But are the people around me, are they necessarily comfortable with that? Great moment that I really wish I was in this class. It was a Galen Hooks class. I saw she posted it years ago, and she had just anybody from any gender expression dancing with each other. It was girls on girls, guys on guys, guys with girls, all this type of stuff. And I was just like, you know, we could have something more open-ended like that, which I at times would like to do more, but it's more of just, you know, respecting everyone else's comfortability and trying to figure out who's cool with what, because you don't know anyone's sexuality off rip or their comfortability and expressing it too. So that kind of has been a little bit of a challenge for me. Okay. So when it comes to how the dance community and its relationship with the LGBTQ community in terms of like inclusivity, the dance community would literally be nothing without the queer community. We can talk about the obvious ones like Vogue and whacking, but even when it comes to musical styles like house or even like, you really want to talk even hip hop to a high degree. And even before that, jazz, literally a bunch of stuff that's happened in ballet, contemporary, like the queer community is very much integral to dance, and it opens up doors for everybody to just be themselves, whether you're straight, whether you're queer, whatever, what have you, whatever race, whatever age, it opens up the floodgates to just be yourself and do however you please in terms of like your movement and learning and your relationship to music. Not to mention just all the major milestones that, you know, the queer community has done in terms of like bringing dance to the forefront or making dance as iconic as it is. Like these artists would not be the artists that they are without the queer community in terms of like relationship to dance. Like all of the major moments, majority of the major moments I should say, or at least a large amount, y'all can correct me if you want to, that have happened in terms of like pop culture, like Britney Spears', you know, the Cobra thing, and during the MTV Music Awards, I think in 2001, or even Lady Gaga's Bad Romance music video. Like these are, or Single Ladies by Beyonce. These are all choreographed by queer people. You know what I'm saying? Like really good queer choreographers that are just, you know, adding in like their movement quality, what they've learned over time, whether it's Major Red, a little bit of Vogue here, a little bit of street jazz here, like or all the other styles that they have learned and that have been influenced by the queer community are just adding on to like amazing, like mind-blowing, dope shows and pop moments. So it's just, the queer community is just like, it and dance are like this, you know what I'm saying? Like needed, can't, you know, break it apart, it's the thing. In terms of how I try to make a more inclusive community, I'd be telling everybody just to come up, pull up, and enjoy themselves or whatever. Whether it's in class and just like, oh, you did a cool thing, do it again or whatever, or just like, you know, be free or whatever. I like to just, I know what it's like to be a beginner coming in and trying to navigate everything. So when I see that happening for other people, I'm like, you know, when it's warranted, you know, nobody likes unsolicited advice, but you know, when like, you know, I can see somebody, maybe it's just like, oh, I don't know, but I'm just like, if you don't get out there and be free and just do whatever, no matter where you are in life, it's the whole point. That's really the whole point. You know, industry and all its craziness aside, the whole point of dance is just to enjoy, be free, and let loose. And a big thing about the queer community, especially in the fights for liberation, is just actual freedom to express and be yourself. So circling back, it's crazy how this all loops around each other there. You know, it's literally like this, just together in all aspects. So in terms of visibility about, you know, the queer community, LGBTQ plus dancers, I would definitely say right now we're in an amazing time. So beforehand, and I've talked to people in the generation or the generations, couple generations above me in terms of like how you present yourself as a dancer, kind of going back to, you know, previous question and my answer in terms of like being mask presenting and how you dance and all this type of stuff. We're getting to a point where not every male dancer necessarily has to be super buff, ripped, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, that's still very commonplace and it's a standard to some degrees. But for the most part, like everybody, no matter what, how you look, you can be skinty, you can be plus sized, wherever, as long as you're fierce and you can move. And especially like you can be super more feminine. Right now, Beyonce has the Renaissance tour. We got Vogers on there, bro. Like that's crazy. Like that's actually insane to think about. Or I think it was Rosalia's tour. You know, those boys were dancing hella feminine, and it's all right nowadays. You know, not every like there's so many. It's crazy how so many dancers you can look back to. And if you've met them in person, like the choreographers or just the dancers that have been in major productions, like the Britney Spears or whatever, and how they always got to be so hard hitting and chest roll and all this type of stuff. But then you meet them in person, they're like, "Hey, sister!" Like it's just like, okay, whoa, I would not have thought that at all from seeing you. But now it's like at a point where like you could be, you know, both or one or the other. Like there's opportunity for literally everybody. And I think it's just kind of elevating the more that people are just understanding that like it's all right. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like being queer is not the craziest thing in the world. You know what I'm saying? It's just chill out. You know, let people be because they've been giving you all the dope stuff to begin with. So you might as well just. My advice to LGBTQ plus dancers, bi dancers like myself, or just, you know, queer dancers as a whole that are going through any type of challenges, whatever. First and foremost, super cliche, I know, but it gets better. It gets better. Push, fight, find people that are like-minded like you. The dance community is filled with them. As a matter of fact, the dance community is so, it's like almost a given to find somebody with a similar struggle, similar backstory as you. So be open, honest, be, you know, mindful of your energy, you know, protect yourself at all costs, no matter what, but at the same breath, also just, you know, let loose, be free. Like there's so many people that are going to like clap for you, that are going to want to, you know, push and see you be amazing. So literally just show up, come in and be yourself, because that's really what we love to see as fellow performers, other people being themselves. That's why we're in it in the first place. It's beyond inclusive, this community, and I see no point into not just being yourself in all aspects. You know what I'm saying? So just know that it's very much a safe haven, and even if you feel like, you know, being on some like, you know, lone wolf journey or whatever, even just dancing by yourself gives you that release and from whatever craziness you're going through. I know it's also both a beautiful, amazing time for the queer community and also a very scary time for the queer community, given all these weird laws happening. But overall, dance is like the safe haven. You're going to find solace in time and patience. Yeah.